Yo, what is a dealio? In this video, we about to demystify the fact that trading is gambling, right? We about to talk and we about to have a conversation, right? This video is for those that try to tell people that trading is gambling. This video is also for people that are trying to pursue trading, right? And you may need to send this to somebody that says it's gambling, right? So let's really have a conversation, okay? I want to get into it because I don't want to waste nobody's time, but I am a full time day trader, right? Full time income in the stock market, all right? Trading stock options. I have heard people say trading is gambling, right? What? Don't do that. You're gonna lose your money and all that stuff, right? But let's demystify this real quick, all right? So the first question I would say is, if trading is gambling, how come there's so many people making millions from doing it? I'll wait. How come there are so many people making millions from doing it? If trading is gambling, right? Like let's really think about this. The first things first, we got to understand the mindset and the education. I always say the more you study, the less you worry, right? So if that's the case, you just haven't studied enough to understand why stock options is not gambling, okay? So when we look at the history of it, people do options to hedge their investments. So if they have Apple stock and it's going down, they could ride it down to the downside and still make money while their investment is down right now. And then they can ride it back up and then collect their money back, right? So it's like you got to understand that options is a rich man's game. Options was created for rich people to make more money in the stock market in different ways. That's how I look at it. All right. But also understand that everything is a risk that you're uneducated on. Everything is a risk that you're uneducated on. So if I sit here and I'm like, man, riding a motorcycle is gambling with my life. A motorcyclist is gonna be like, no, because they know how to ride, they know how to protect themselves, right? When I used to be in door-to-door sales, people would say, they don't make no money. I'm over here making $20,000 a month, knocking on doors, selling solar, right? So it's like when people are uneducated, they gonna have these biases that they don't even know what they're talking about. All right, the next thing is no accountability equals wanting to have somebody to blame. And that's why people are calling it gambling. Because a person cannot stomach putting $2,000 into something and then losing $1,000 of it. People always, it's human nature nowadays in society. People always want to have somebody else to blame. So in their mind, it's gambling because if they lose money, they can't blame anybody else for why they lost money. But the crazy part about options is you can have a stop loss. So you can say, I only want to lose X amount of dollars in this trade. That's not gambling to me. Because gambling is when you put all your money in and it's all or nothing. With stock options, it's not all or nothing, right? Another thing, people don't believe in honest abundance. A lot of people's relationship with money is so messed up that they think that to make a lot of money, you got to be doing some wicked stuff. And once again, that's not the case, right? A lot of people can't even fathom making $15,000 a month. They think that's too much money. You know, I've heard it before. I don't need a lot of money. I don't need all that money. People say it all the time, but they just don't believe that they deserve it. So they're speaking from a perspective of, lack and uncertainty and unawareness. But people that know money know that stock trading is the most efficient way to make money. It's the most efficient way because you can literally make hundreds and thousands of dollars in a span of 10 minutes. And I'm being very conservative. You can make thousands of dollars in 3 minutes. So it's like, what's really going on here? All right, so it's not gambling. Another thing is, like I said earlier, if it's such a gamble, then why are so many people making millions from doing it? Why are so many people quitting their job? Like me, I was making 6 figures selling solar in door-to-door sales, and I walked away from it because I found stock options. I started learning how to trade. I got profitable and I dipped. So it's like when I was in door to door, people said that's a risk. And then now people may say that it's risky to trade options. I don't even tell people in my personal life I trade options. If I meet somebody, I don't even tell them I trade options like that because I don't care to hear about somebody saying that it's gambling because people just don't know how the thing works. They just don't know how the thing works, right? So a couple more things. Stocks options is a game of probabilities, right, and percentages. So before we go into that, let's look at some probabilities. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. So what we got right here. What's the probability of making it to the NBA? The odds of a high school player making it to the NBA is around 0.03%. The odds of a college player is 1.2%. Okay, follow what I'm saying. What is the probability of making it to the NFL? College is 1.6 and high school is even smaller. Around, look what it say, 0.023% from high schoolers. All right, so you got less than 0.5%. You got less than a 0.5% chance to make it to the NFL or the NBA. All right, what's the probability of going to prison? Is a 5% chance. For women, for men, it's a little bit higher. All right. What is the probability of being struck by lightning? Is 1 in 15,300. That is 0.0006% chance. Right? Do the math. It's 0.0006% chance. All right? To get struck by lightning. What is the chance of being a successful YouTuber? Only 3% of YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers. Less than 1% of YouTubers will ever make enough money to reach the U.S. poverty line, which is literally $12,000 a year. All right? So you have a less than a 1% chance to be a successful YouTuber. But look at this. What is the probability of becoming a millionaire in the stock market? You have a 7.9% chance of becoming a millionaire in the stock market. Look at that. Look at that. So you have a better chance of becoming a millionaire in the stock market than you do going to the NBA, going to the NFL. You're more likely to become a millionaire in the stock market than getting struck by lightning. You're more likely to becoming a millionaire in the stock market than having a YouTube channel and making a full-time income from it. You're more likely. So I want you to understand that if you're telling somebody that's gambling, it's not. It's all about education, right? And if you think that it's gambling, it's not. So get that out of your head. It's about learning the actual charts. It's about learning the skill set, right? So when we talk about a game of percentages and probabilities, all right? Let's look at the stock market. If you put your money into an index fund or an ETF, you, on average, depending on the year, you may get an 8%, 10% return on your money. Some years it may be 20% up. Some years it may be 2%, right? But when we average all out historically, it's like 8 to 10%. So let's go with that, 8 to 10%. Okay, and that's in a year. Okay, if I can go into the stock market every single day and go trade options and I can go make 10 to 15% on my money every single day, that will mean that in 10 days, I made 100% return on my money. Yes, you're going to have some trades that aren't going to work out. Yes, you're going to lose money. But as long as you keep your losses small, smaller than your wins, you will be a profitable trader. It's simple as that. And the compounding effect is real. You start with $2,000, it grows to $5,000, then it grows to $10,000, and then it becomes easier to make more money in the stock market when you have more money. So it's not a gamble. The biggest gamble is not learning this skill set. Because let me tell you this. If I would have learned how to trade stock options when I was 24, I would have been up at least 5 million by now. So the cost of me not learning this is $5 million minimum. So I had to pay $5 million in unrealized potential, right? All because I didn't learn this. So that's the real gamble. I was gambling with my life by not learning this skill set. You got to understand what I'm really saying here. You got to get in the game. Stop talking about this is gambling, or stop letting somebody make you feel like it's gambling when you just don't know how to play the game. Anything is gonna feel like it's gambling when you are unaware and uneducated of the actual thing. All right, you need to learn how to read the charts. The more you learn how to read the charts, and you could be able to understand what a quality, high probable setup is. If you know that this pattern is gonna work 80% of the time, then I would play my probabilities. If I see a pattern and 80% of the time it goes in the direction of what I think based on what I've learned and what I've been taught, I'm gonna take that. Because if I lose 20% of the time, but I only lose a small portion of my money 20% of the time, but 80% of the time I make 20 to 30% on my money, I am going to get rich as hell. So there's a reason why you got so many people flocking to stock options, learning how to trade. It's because it is sustainable, it is viable. The stock market has been around for a long time and it's going to continue to be around. So you can literally make your money in stock options and then take the profits and put it into your investment portfolio of your shares and your equities, and then you can supercharge your retirement account. That's how you can do it, right? And the last part is you just have to learn how to develop certain traits and characteristics: resilience, discipline, patience, balancing your fear and your greed. You're working on your relationship with money, learning how to make good decisions. That's what it's about. So a lot of times people look at trading as a gamble because they don't know how to discipline themselves. They don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to control their emotions. That's why they be like, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. It's because they know themselves to the point where they know if they got $5,000 and they think that they could put 5,000 in and go get 8,000 back, they know that they're going to blow that money. But you, as somebody who is interested in this thing, you need to drown out the noise and you need to lock in. You need to lock in. And if you are telling somebody that's gambling, I challenge you to come learn how to trade stock options for 30 days. And I promise you, in 30 days, you will have a different sentiment. You won't be thinking that it's gambling, because you're going to learn how to flip $1,000 into $2,000. And then you're going to be like, wow, this is not gambling. I was wrong the whole time. One of the biggest lessons that I learned in trading is you got to learn how to admit when you're wrong. If I'm in a play and I'm in a call, I think the stock is going up and it goes to the downside, I need to learn how to get out of that trade fast and admit that I'm wrong. Otherwise, I'm going to lose more. That is a skill in and of itself, right? So trading is not gambling. We just demystified it all. You have a better chance of being a successful multimillionaire in the stock market than you do being a successful YouTuber, being in the NBA, the NFL, winning a lottery, being struck by lightning. We could go on and on and on. You have a better chance of being a millionaire in the stock market. All right. So I highly recommend you to get in the game, learn what you need to learn, obsess over it, learn everything you can, and get in the game and learn how to trade, start trading so that you can start building your money up. It will change your life when you lock in. All right, so that's what I got for you guys today. Always remember, get out of your head and get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.